Today we are going to delve into the case of Aaron Taylor. In late 2007, Aaron Taylor was a transient man who lived in the area of the Paradise Valley Mall in Phoenix, Arizona. He would usually sleep on a bench near a courtyard next to the subway and the Circle K off Cactus Road. Before we get into the crime itself, let's take a look back at Aaron's life a little bit and the events that preceded the murder. He was one of 5 children to a Mormon bishop and a housewife. He spent his earlier childhood in Oregon, but moved to the valley when he was 10. He was very average in school, but he was very mechanically inclined. His father said that he could break anything apart and pull it back together. He loved it. It wasn't until high school that he started to get in trouble and acting out. One of the main problems at this point was that he wanted to impress his friends, which is normal at his age. But he started getting into alcohol and drugs, and he got into problems with the law. His parents have said that a very awful motorcycle crash change was a major change for him, and not a good way. It was a turning point. That crash nearly killed him. His parents had to take care of him, take care of all his needs, like bathe him, feed him, etc., for like a few weeks after that. And they also started to notice a change in demeanor in him. When his family moved back to Oregon when he was 20, that's when he started to hole up in homeless shelters. The family eventually moved back to the valley at the insistence of the grandparents. And the parents actually insisted that Aaron move back with them. He eventually did so, and when he arrived, they couldn't recognize him. He was totally changed. He had longer hair, his clothes were ill-fitting, they didn't fit, they were worn, and he was not the same person that they knew. In 1991, at the insistence of his mother, Taylor agreed to get his GED. His mother gave him a round-trip ticket for the bus, and this is the last time she ever saw him. He was convicted for burglary and spent 7 years in jail. In jail, he just refused to see his family. He didn't answer the letter, no phone call, nothing. So there was absolutely no contact at all for that whole period he was in jail. Even after he was released from prison, he wanted to maintain that transient lifestyle. He didn't contact his parents either. He stayed on his own. And his parents, they tried to look for him after he was released from prison. They hired private investigators. They visited homeless shelters. They really tried hard to look for him, but they never found him. So, like in 2007, when the crime happened, they hadn't seen their son for 16 years. On Christmas Day, 2007, around 6:57 p.m., the first call arrives to the police. The caller says that he reports a man on fire in front of the subway by the Paradise Valley Mall. He says, "Someone's on fire, please come, something's going on." During that time, before the police arrives, there are several people, security guards from the Circle K. They try to smother their flames with their jacket, but neither of them are successful. The fire keeps burning. When the Phoenix Fire Department arrives, they find Aaron straddling a concrete bench and he's burning. And at this point, it's unclear if he's been duct taped or tied to the bench. They don't know, but they proceed to extinguish the fire and they start CPR on him. After the firemen try to do everything they can, they give him to the paramedics, who rush Aaron Taylor to the hospital. They rush him to the Maricopa Medical Center's burn unit. There, they try everything they can to save him, to save his life. However, nothing they do works, and he's pronounced dead there. The medical examiner who took care of Aaron's body afterward, he reports that Taylor was alive when he got fired. So whatever happened there, he was alive. He wasn't already dead. He actually stayed alive long enough so that he would inhale the smoke from the fire, and he could feel everything. And the report showed that he burned to death. That is absolutely horrible. Can you imagine it? Like, put yourself in his shoes for a second. Like, you're being burned to death, and you can feel everything. You can feel the fire, the flames. You can inhale the smoke. Just how terrible it must have been for him. Just painful, and the fear he must have felt at this very moment, not knowing if he was going to survive. And I can't even process it. This is very hard to imagine someone going through that. It's just, I don't know, I have no words for this. 3 weeks later, the case is finally opened. It's labeled suspicious death without suspect. The police interview people, they interview witnesses, and there are a lot of nearby employees that that say that they think that he was murdered. And they think that he was lit on fire by three men. And they say that the three men actually allegedly taunted him and duct taped him to the subway bench. We now have three suspects, aged 17, 20, and 24. Three men are accused of routinely harassing Aaron Taylor. One of the witnesses states that just before Aaron Taylor was set on fire, they saw the three men actually offering some alcohol to him, and there's a lot of credence to this statement, because just next to Aaron's body, next to the bench where he was found burning, there were a lot of small alcohol bottles. There was also a larger half-empty bottle of 10 High, and there was also Miller Lite bottles. So there was definitely alcohol involved. After the brutal death of Aaron Taylor, there was a lot of information that came out that this was not the first time that he had been bullied and harassed by those three men. Wayne Leach, a maintenance guy that works at the Paradise Valley Mall, and few others also stated that they saw the three men duct taping Aaron Taylor to the bench on more than one occasion. So this wasn't just once. And Christmas Day wasn't the first time they would have done it. It was something that they did a lot. And another instance of this brutal abuse that Aaron Taylor faced at the end of the three men, a security mall guard actually stated in the police report during the investigation that the three men actually poured liquid on him and pushed him on multiple occasions, and that's since the month of July. So that was months before the murder or the death of Aaron Taylor. So what we know now is that Aaron Taylor was brutally abused by three men ranging from the age 17 to 24 in the months leading up to this brutal death. The three men actually lived in an apartment building nearby, next to the mall. The police tried to go talk to them, figure out what happened, if they were there, did they drink with him? So just figure out what happened on a basic level. But the three boys were not willing to talk. They were very evasive, and their family soon lawyered them up. The three men's parents hired attorneys. They were told not to cooperate with the families. And very sadly, the case has remained cold to this day. No one has been charged, nothing. The people that work in the mall, the Paradise Valley Mall, described Aaron as someone who was very nice. He liked to hang out and talk to people, to the employees. He was always very nice to them and respectful. And he was very honest and open about the fact that he has struggled with drug addiction. And he was just a kind person. No one described him as being aggressive or just looking for trouble. He just minded his own business. And liked hanging out with the people in the mall and talk to them whenever he could. He also liked to give them candy. Whenever he had money, he would buy candy and bring them to the mall employees. That's something sweet that he liked to do. So the people that worked there at the time remember him very fondly. And this is a very sad situation because he was brutally murdered. We still don't know what happened. Um, the people that have murdered him haven't been caught and brought to justice. And unfortunately, this is what happens to a lot of NHI people. Stands for no human involved. So, like people who are prostitutes, transient people, homeless, runaway. Um, a lot of cases tend to go cold like this, or that are not looked into as much as they could. But I hope you like this episode, and I hope that this episode can bring a little bit of advice toward this case again, because we need justice for Aaron Taylor. We need to have the people that murdered him prosecuted, and yeah, I think this sums it up pretty well. Justice for Aaron Taylor.